History is filled with moments of darkness, times when despair felt like the only reality. We've seen empires fall, societies crumble, and hope flicker like a dying candle. But it's in these very moments, when the night is at its darkest, that heroes are born. This is the story of one such time, a period shrouded in shadow, and the unlikely figure who rose from the ashes to reignite the flame of hope for an entire world. Imagine a land fractured by conflict, where trust was a forgotten currency and fear was the air people breathed. For years, the world had been locked in a seemingly endless cycle of strife. Communities that once thrived were now just ghosts of their former selves. People had forgotten what it felt like to look to the future with anything but dread. They prayed for a sign, for a leader, for anyone to show them a way out of the darkness. But for a long time, their prayers seemed to go unanswered. In a small, overlooked corner of this broken world lived a man named Cale. He wasn't a king, a general, or a great scholar. He was a blacksmith, his hands calloused from the hammer and the forge. Like everyone else, he had lost much. His village was a shadow of what it once was, and he'd seen friends and family consumed by the prevailing despair. He spent his days forging tools and his nights staring at the same starless sky as everyone else. But within Cale, something was different. A tiny, stubborn spark of defiance refused to be extinguished. One day, a neighboring settlement, already on its knees, was threatened with complete annihilation. The old alliances were broken. No one was coming to their aid. It was a story everyone had heard before, one that always ended in tragedy. But Cale decided this time would be different. He wasn't a warrior, but he knew how to build. He wasn't a leader, but he knew the hearts of his people. He picked up his hammer, not to forge a weapon, but to rebuild a broken gate. His solitary act was a powerful statement. At first, people watched with pity. What could one man do against an overwhelming tide of darkness? But his resolve was contagious. Soon another villager joined him, then another, and another. They didn't have an army, but they had a unified purpose. Inspired by Cale's unwavering spirit, they worked day and night, not just rebuilding their defenses, but rebuilding their community, their trust in one another. They weren't fighting with swords. They were fighting with hope. When the threat arrived, they didn't find a broken, fearful village ready to surrender. They found a united community standing shoulder to shoulder, their spirit a fortress more formidable than any stone wall. The story of Cale's village spread like wildfire. It was a simple story, but it was the one the world desperately needed to hear. It wasn't about a great battle, but about the power of one person's refusal to give up. Cale never sought to be a hero. He simply chose to light a candle rather than curse the darkness. And in doing so, he showed everyone that hope isn't something you wait for. It's something you build together, one small act at a time. His legacy wasn't forged in steel, but in the resilient hearts of the people he inspired. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of courage and hope. See you next time.